Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today we're not talking about dinosaurs or distant galaxies, but about a silent, high-stakes war being fought in the quiet halls of our world's most famous museums. What if I told you that the theft of art and cultural artifacts is one of the largest categories of crime worldwide, totaling billions of dollars every year? A stolen masterpiece isn't just a loss of money, it's a hole torn in the fabric of human history. So how do we protect these irreplaceable treasures? The answer is a technological fortress, a world where artificial intelligence, biometric scanners, and invisible lasers stand guard over our past. Let's pull back the curtain on the incredible technology of museum security. For a long time, museum security was simple: heavy locks and a few guards with flashlights. It was a system based on human observation, and it was deeply flawed. The ultimate wake-up call came in 1990 at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. Thieves disguised as police officers exploited the museum's outdated motion detectors and alarms. They overpowered the unarmed guards and walked out with 13 pieces of art, including works by Vermeer and Rembrandt, valued today at over $500 million. It remains the largest art heist in modern history, and it proved that the old ways were no longer enough. Today, we've leapt from night watchmen to neural networks. Modern museum security is built on a principle called layered defense, creating multiple tiers of protection designed to deter, detect, delay, and respond to any threat. Let's start with the outermost layer: physical security and access control. This is about controlling who gets in and where they can go. But we're far beyond simple keys. Modern museums use electromechanical locking systems. The Design Museum in London and the Auckland War Memorial Museum use a system where digital keys can have their access permissions granted or revoked electronically in real time. If a guard loses a key, the security manager can simply deactivate it with a click, rendering it a useless piece of metal. This also creates a perfect audit trail of who accessed which door and when. For the most sensitive areas, like the vaults holding treasures not currently on display, security goes a step further with biometrics. The key becomes you. The stunning Museum of the Future in Dubai, for instance, needed a way to manage its 500 employees. Instead of key cards, they installed 25 devices that use advanced finger vein technology. It's futuristic, incredibly secure, and perfectly suited for an institution of its status. Experts even predict that in the future, I might use your unique walking pattern or gait analysis to identify potential threats as you walk through the door. Now for the next layer: the ever-watchful eye of surveillance. Forget the grainy black and white footage of old. Today's museums use high-definition cameras that deliver crystal-clear images, often paired with thermal cameras that can detect a person's heat signature in complete darkness. But the real revolution isn't the camera itself, it's the brain behind it: artificial intelligence. Instead of a guard trying to watch dozens of screens at once, an AI can analyze every video feed simultaneously and detect suspicious activity in real time. For example, AI uses dwell time analysis. If you linger in front of a valuable painting for an unusually long time, the system can flag you as a potential risk. The AI can also create an invisible zone around an artifact. If anyone crosses that virtual boundary, say, reaching over a rope to touch a sculpture, an alarm is instantly triggered. The AI can even be trained for object recognition, identifying suspicious items like spray cans or paint bottles that might be used for vandalism. Major institutions like the Louvre in Paris and the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. are already using this kind of video analytics to monitor visitor flow and provide real-time alerts for security breaches. Beyond cameras, a symphony of other sensors are at play. Tiny motion and vibration sensors are often placed directly on or near artworks. ArtGuard's MAP technology, for example, uses a tiny magnet attached to an artwork. If the art is moved even a fraction of an inch away from the wall-mounted sensor, an alarm goes off. Invisible laser detectors create unseen barriers around large exhibits, and specialized glass break detectors are attached to display cases, listening for the specific frequency of shattering glass. The next layer of defense gets even more personal, protecting individual artifacts with the Internet of Things, or IoT. This involves a network of tiny, interconnected devices. One of the most powerful applications is asset tracking. Discrete radio frequency identification, or RFID tags, can be attached to each artifact. These tags continuously broadcast their location. The Smithsonian Institution and the Metropolitan Museum of Art use this technology to manage their vast collections. It's like a real-time GPS for every single item. If an artifact is moved without authorization, security gets an immediate alert showing its exact location. This has also revolutionized inventory management. The technology even extends to the furniture. Smart shelves, equipped with RFID readers, can constantly monitor the presence of every tagged object, ensuring nothing is ever misplaced or stolen. But not all threats are as dramatic as a heist. The slow, silent creep of environmental damage can be just as destructive. Fluctuations in temperature, humidity, and light can cause irreparable harm to delicate materials like paper, wood, and canvas. A comprehensive security strategy must defend against these silent threats as well. Museums are climate-controlled fortresses, maintaining a stable environment to preserve their collections. For example, a stable relative humidity, often between 45 and 65%, is crucial to prevent organic materials from expanding, contracting, and cracking. Light, especially UV radiation, causes colors to fade, so museums use low UV lighting and rotate objects on display. To ensure these conditions are met, wireless data loggers constantly record temperature, humidity, and light levels. The Metropolitan Museum of Art installed a wireless sensor network to protect its medieval and Byzantine art collection, allowing for precise, real-time adjustments to the climate. Then there's the nightmare scenario: fire. A traditional water sprinkler system might put out the fire, but it would cause catastrophic water damage to irreplaceable history. So museums use specialized fire suppression systems. Water mist systems use high-pressure nozzles to create a fine fog. This mist rapidly cools the fire and displaces oxygen, extinguishing the flames with significantly less water, dramatically reducing damage. Another option is a clean agent system. These use gases like Novec 1230 that extinguish fire by interrupting the chemical reaction. The gas leaves zero residue, making it perfectly safe for priceless artifacts and sensitive electronics. The most advanced solution is a hypoxic air system. This is a preventative measure that continuously keeps the oxygen concentration in a vault at around 15 to 17%. This level is too low for most materials to ignite, but it's still safe for humans to breathe for short periods. It creates an environment where a fire simply cannot start. With all this incredible technology, you might think the problem is solved. But the most challenging vulnerability remains the human element. An overwhelming majority of art thefts from museums are believed to be insider threats, perpetrated by employees, contractors, or researchers who have trusted access and know the security procedures. There have been cases of respected scholars stealing objects over decades, or senior librarians walking out with rare books. This highlights the critical need for thorough background checks and strict access protocols. At the same time, museums face a delicate balancing act. They need robust security, but they also want to be open, welcoming public spaces. Overly intrusive measures can create a fortress-like atmosphere. The best systems operate discreetly in the background. This has led to a shift in the role of security personnel. In many progressive museums, guards are now trained as gallery guides. They still provide security, but they also engage with visitors, answer questions, and enhance the overall experience. This friendly presence acts as a powerful deterrent while fostering a positive environment. So what does the future hold? We're looking at drones patrolling large museum campuses and flying through galleries after hours. We're seeing the rise of predictive security. where data analytics can identify patterns to predict potential threats before they happen. And AI will only get smarter, becoming more adept at detecting suspicious behavior and even authenticating artworks. The guardians of our past are no longer just night watchmen. They are a complex, interconnected symphony of AI, IoT sensors, biometric scanners, and dedicated professionals. This invisible, technological fortress stands between our shared cultural heritage and those who would diminish it. By carefully balancing this cutting-edge technology with a mission to educate and inspire, we can ensure that the treasures of our past remain safe and accessible for generations to come. Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online.